You know, I gotta give Ted Cruz a lot of credit for going to the Views to speak to these ladies.
Changed, but we'll go okay.
Yeah, he shocked himself.
Did I miss an entire year of Antifa riots?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He hit the nail in the sure place.
Yikes.
Okay, friends, welcome to Look and Live. You here with Pastor James Devallon. In this video, with the perspective here, we have Ted Cruz on The View. And he made a number of points that I thought was like, wow. And the conversation got heated, not because of things he was saying that were wrong. And I think sometimes people can't handle the truth. And sometimes we try to avoid the truth by coming up with, you know, somebody's trying to scream the lie and then somebody's telling you the truth. You're like, I don't want to hear it. Well, we need to hear it. How about we take a listen to this one today, because it's going to get really, really interesting. But before we do that, make sure you like and subscribe to the page. Click the bell icon for more of my notification uploads. Every thumb matter. I'm going to make a t-shirt called Every Thumb Matter. Check out our merch, by the way. We have some links below if you want to support this channel financially. You want to become a member of this YouTube page channel where you're getting 3 videos a day. You know that, right? So why do I do it? Because I love you. How about we get back to this video right now? Let's listen to the discussion. I'll try to comment. I'll let them talk and I'll comment as I go. But it's gonna get really interesting.
The Democrats had been undermining the Constitution and undermining democracy. And the book that is coming out tomorrow is on exactly that topic, how the Department of Justice and the FBI have been turned into partisan weapons to attack the political opponents of the Biden
administration. Well, you're talking about we corrupted it. You guys don't pay any attention to it.
Well,
that's a great talking point.
Okay. Here comes Whoopi Goldberg with her.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I don't know what do I say. The intelligent one among the group, Whoopi Goldberg, just gave him a piece of her mind. But what's amazing is how he answers that, okay? So I'm not necessarily sure the content and the context of what she's talking about. But watch what he does. Very, very smart.
You guys at the beginning of the show had this long discussion about, is Donald Trump going to testify under oath? Of course he's not. Nobody thinks he is. And by the way, did Barack Obama testify under oath? No.
he never defied a congressional subpoena.
He's calling the double standards, but watch how they behave. Watch how they behave.
But you know who did? You know who did? Eric Holder, the Attorney General of the United States, was held in contempt and tried to cover up the malfeasance of the Department of Justice. He refused to show up for the subpoena. He was held in contempt of Congress
Weaponized the Department of Justice.
Give me one example.
Bill Barr. Real quick.
Okay, you said a name.
Let me get a chance to get it.
Okay, weaponize. Give me the target that was persecuted, because I can tell you.
I'll ignore that.
I love when you're arguing, which I love a lot of people when they do this, and I've seen Larry Elder does this really, really well too, especially with the discussion he had with Dave Rubin, that red pill moment. Give me the specifics. The reason that is significant is because sometimes people like to generalize a lot, you know, especially the Democratic Party. They will make their argument and they generalize stuff. You have to like peel off the layers of the generalization of what they're doing. Let's get to the heart of the matter, get to the facts. That's kind of why I say all the time, let's get to the heart of the message, because the layers are not what's significant, is the intent of the message, the content in itself, the heart of it. Oftentimes they don't have the heart. They have, the cutting twigs and branches and so on, which is where the problem is. That's why they can make an argument really when they have no ground for an argument. So I love the fact when he took the time to say, he's asking them to be more specific about what they're talking about.
And
the Department of Justice.
Give me one example.
Bill Barr.
Give me one example.
Okay, you said a name.
Let me get a chance to get it.
Okay, weaponize. Give me the target that was persecuted, because I can tell you who the Democrats, Merrick Garland, directed the FBI to go after moms and dads who go to school boards and to treat them as domestic terrorists using the Patriot Act.
Yep.
That is fundamentally wrong, and it is.
You're right about that in your book.
The thing is, I love what Ted Cruz is doing here. The Democrats have been kind of like blackballing a lot of Republicans, right? And some of the Republicans, I feel like they're not saying enough. Like going on the views to do this is exactly what needs to take place, because some of these people need to realize that there is another side to the story that you guys don't really understand. So they need to be challenged. And I'm glad that he's doing this, and he's also helping them to see things from a different perspective. That's exactly what needs to happen with these type of conversations in order for us to come to a place where we can actually appreciate one another. So we have to live with each other here. And not having those conversations is even worse. So by him taking that, accepting that call and go there and challenge them.
How do you reconcile your constitutional convictions with what happened on January 6th and trying to overturn the election when 60 court cases got knocked down?
What was that about?
And
This January 6th thing, I've said it before and I'll say it again, is like, I am tired of hearing about it. I just am, because it's like, that's like their baseline. To me, it's like it's the most unattractive way to appeal to voters is by talking about that event that happened on January 6th, when there were so many sides of the story. There were other groups. These were not all Republicans. There were Antifas that were doing things. There was so much more to the story than what we are told in the media. But they keep on repeating this rhetoric. And I'm thinking the more they speak about January 6th, the more they're trying to use that as a mean to win election. Is the worse you make yourself look. At least in my eyes, being an independent person who's trying to understand politics and trying to understand what is going on in my country. Like, to me, that doesn't appeal to me at all. Because we have real issues that I'm worrying about. I'm worrying about my family, my faith. I'm worrying about my censorship. I'm worrying about, my freedoms. These are the things that really matters to me. January 6th, yes, it was bad, but so was the Black Lives Matter movement that lasted a whole year. Yeah, there were things in January 6th that we can talk about that should not have happened. But there are many things that are happening in our cities every single day that should not be happening. So I'm saying you just gotta come up with something better than this, man. If you keep talking about January 6th, and I know she is a Democrat. No, she's a Republican on the views. I'm not sure. Is that what you call a rhino? I don't know. But it doesn't seem like she stands for the Republican Party at all when she talks. But anyway, nevertheless, let's keep going.
just finally was
I
Biden
absolutely
legitimately
did.
elected? Because half the party thinks that he wasn't. And
It goes the election denier. I listened to Carrie Lake, and I did put a short on my channel about Carrie Lake just going and calling out the hypocrisy of election deniers who themselves have denied election. So it's like, you keep calling Republicans election deniers when Clinton did it, and many other Republican Democrats also denied election. So what's the big deal now? Isn't that your freedom of speech not to believe that a person was properly elected?
You are lying.
That happens. That's just normal. But they weaponized the language and they turned it into something bad. Election denier, when you call a person an election denier, it's like, all these languages are being weaponized to push a particular agenda and to create a certain perspective concerning a particular group that you disagree with. And I think that's like what they're doing with the language.
was Biden
absolutely
legitimately
did.
elected? Because half the party thinks that he wasn't, and it'd be very powerful for you to tell the truth.
So listen, Biden is the president today. There's a lot of folks in the media that anytime, hold on, I'm answering exactly that question. There are a lot of folks in the media that try to,
let him talk.
Anytime a Republican is in front of a TV camera, try to say the election was fair and square and legitimate. You know who y'all don't do that to? You don't do it to Hillary Clinton, who stood up and said Trump stole the election.
There you go.
They didn't try to kill my former.
Look what they did. Now he already answered your question. He affirmed what you wanted to hear. But he is also defending the freedom of speech for those to disagree concerning the election. While he is making his points, y'all ladies jump on his back to make sure you stop the truth from coming out. This is the stuff. And I give Ted Cruz a lot of respect and a lot of credit for going there, because
are you crazy?
These women are crazy. You know that, right?
Clinton, who stood up and said Trump stole the election.
They didn't storm the Capitol. They didn't try to kill my
Stacey
former
Abrams, who said that the election was stolen. They sat here and said it was illegitimate, and you guys were fine with it. Okay, so it's illegitimate
double standard.
when Republicans win, but not when Democrats.
No, you know, here's the thing.
I've actually seen the video where Hillary Clinton said that. Hillary Clinton said that herself.
Hillary Clinton apparently still not over her 2016 defeat to President Trump. She's now claiming the election was stolen from her. Watch this.
I think it's also
I can put it on the screen.
critical
But the thing
to
is,
understand that
said that
as I've
Hillary
been
Clinton
telling
said that
candidates
herself.
who have come to see me, you can run the best campaign, you can even become the nominee, and you can have the election stolen from you.
So
I'm gonna resign.
But the thing is, that was okay. That was okay. That was okay. Because it lines up with your party. You know, when he's the other side, you have an issue with that. That's called hypocrisy. And he's doing a great job calling them out.
With it. Okay, so it's illegitimate when Republicans win, but not when Democrats.
No, you know, here's the thing. We may not like when Republicans win, but we don't go and we don't storm.
Are you serious?
We don't.
That's a straw man argument. So you see, she's deflecting from the point. That's actually a very weak way of defending a particular point that's been made here. The thing is, we're talking about election deniers. Now she departs from that and say, you guys went in storm. It's like, what does that have to do with people who are denying the election? So those who've denied the election might not have anything to do with those who've stormed the Capitol. So there is really no relationship of these two. You know, it's such a weak way to defend your base. It's sad to watch.
Try to change, but we'll go to
yeah, he shocked himself.
Did I miss an entire year of Antifa riots?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He hit the nail in the sure place. If you have not seen my reaction video to the Black Lives Matter movement, and also with my friend Darth Vader, we did a whole reaction and a review of the movie Uncle Tom 2. You gotta check this out because it helps to the Antifas and what they've done and the movement in itself, the Black Lives Matter. The amount of stuff they've done to the cities is almost like that's a taboo subject. We can't talk about that. He called them out, and I love that.
Did I miss an entire year of Antifa riots?
Did I miss an entire year of Antifa riots? So you worry so much about January 6th, but an entire year of Antifa riots where lives were lost, where businesses were burned to the ground. But because somebody stormed, you know, a group of people stormed the Capitol, that was the worst crime of all centuries. It's like, yeah, it was bad, but it wasn't the worst crime. We've seen stuff like this happening in cities all the time. Come on, be balanced.
Where cities across this country were burning and police cars.
I don't know what an Antifa. Yes, you do. Yes, you do very well. You do know.
Year of Antifa riots where cities across this country were burning and police cars were being firebombed. Your position is the left doesn't engage in violence, really?
No, they wanted to noose our friend Mike Pence. Like, how do we make sense of that?
You just accused us.
I'm actually amazed how Sunny is just sitting there and just chilling.
Wanted to noose our friend Mike Pence.
That's rare because she's one of the loudest when it comes to these, you know, facing the opposition. I've seen. It's supposed to be a very smart woman, by the way, but sometimes she says, I'm like, Sunny, what are you talking about? Aren't you supposed to be a lawyer? A thinking individual?
How do we make sense of that? You just accused us of doing something we didn't do. You said Hillary Clinton didn't say whatever she didn't say. I'm saying to you, listen.
And she said it's sitting here, and you were fine with her saying it was illegitimate for Republicans to win.
She called Donald Trump the next morning, and she conceded the election, Ted.
Okay,
took the call.
As did Stacey Abrams.
All right.
She sat there while Donald Trump was getting sworn in.
He's got his facts. He came ready. You see, he came ready. He had his notes. He had his facts because he knew what these ladies were gonna do. He knows their talking points, so he came with his little notes here, ready to drop some bombs. I'm about to quote somebody.
All right.
Sonny has the question.
She sat there while Donald Trump
Hillary
was getting
Clinton
sworn
says
in.
Trump is an illegitimate
Two wrongs
president.
don't
Hillary
make a
Clinton
right.
says the election.
You see what's going on here? He's trying to talk now. They talking over him, right? Watch what they do.
While Donald Trump
Hillary
was getting
Clinton
sworn
says
in.
Trump is an illegitimate
Two wrongs
president.
don't
Hillary
make a
Clinton
right.
says the election is stolen from you. Hillary Clinton in 2002, George W. Bush was
Oh, you got all
selected,
your
not elected.
paperwork.
Joe Biden, Al Gore was elected president. So Joe Biden
You
claims
just said
George
we
W.
don't
Bush
scream
was
at each
illegitimate.
other, right? Or is it just you that gets to scream?
See, look at the hypocrisy
This is just wrong.
of this. This is what I'm talking about. Y'all were cutting him off. Y'all were baking him. Y'all were stopping him. Y'all were pushing him in a corner. Y'all were calling him out. Y'all were interrupting him. But the moment he began to speak and lay out the facts, you say, you're yelling at us. Isn't she supposed to be a Republican herself?
You
Claims
just said
George
we
W.
don't
Bush
scream
was
at each
illegitimate.
other, right? Or is it just you that gets to scream?
Okay, no, I agree.
Look at that rebuke. Look at that rebuke. That is so rude. So rude. Oh my goodness. That's the type of women I have an issue with. Let's keep going.
Okay, then lower your voice because we are very close to each other.
Lower your voice. Look how disrespectful that was. Will she do this to a Democrat? I don't think so. The thing is, that was just rude. Anyway, keep going.
But
And I know you come here to sell a book and try to pick a fight, but we're not going to do it today.
But Anna, then address the. Okay, you look at this January 6th
You handled it
committee,
pretty
which I
well.
think is a
You got
kangaroo
1 minute,
circus.
and then I gotta go.
The chairman.
You
of the-
got 1 minute and then I gotta go. Stop with the truth. Stop making us feel uncomfortable. Stop tearing down our buildings. Stop it. You are killing us with the facts. You got 1 minute and then I gotta go.
Lost your damn mind. You done lost your damn mind.
These people are something.
January 6th committee, which I think is a
You got
kangaroo
1 minute,
circus.
and then I gotta go.
The chairman of the
got 1
January
minute,
6th
I gotta
committee objected to a prior presidential election. Representative Raskin, the lead prosecutor for the impeachment, objected to a prior presidential
you ever
election.
heard a
and
room
the
full of
absolute hypocrisy.
Democrats say,
Tell them the truth. The truth.
Ted Cruz, you did great. Because if you can't sit among these women, that's like that's a bear trap, man. You sit among these women and you handle yourself as well as you did and you kept your composure. And, you know, I've learned sometime when you're having debates and stuff, you know, I tend to speak very low and I tend to speak very slow. But when you're debating people, my way of talking won't work because you have to lift up your voice and you have to claim a level of authority, or else you're gonna be trampled. You're gonna be trampled upon. They're gonna stampede your whole entire argument. So what he was doing was correct. When you're trying to argue your point, there are times you need to raise your voice and lay out the facts. And I've seen Larry Elder. He does this really, really well. But they didn't want to hear the facts. They didn't want to hear the truth because these ladies have a preconceived notion. And if you tell them anything, then what their party believe in, they are not willing to humble themselves and address it and make some changes, because it takes a level of humility, and to be humble you have to be humiliated. You know, you have to swallow your pride and say, I was wrong, you know, and very few people can do that.
Preach.
You know, unfortunately, that's kind of the reason why Ted Cruz's argument wasn't well received by the panel. But I'm sure there are people in the audience who's gonna say, you know what, I didn't see things from this perspective before. You know, I'm one of those who's like being convinced by the Republican Party because their arguments are strong. Not that I'm saying the party is perfect. I think there are some things I'm totally against when it comes to the Republican Party. But as far as what they're arguing about, as far as their position, where they stand, and the stuff that they're saying and the way that they're defending it, it makes a lot more sense than the Democrats. So it's just fact. I'll close up with this. In the scripture, Paul the Apostle says this: I might therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth. You know, some people, when you tell them the truth, they get mad at you. They call you crazy names and stuff like that. Sometimes I read my comments and I'm like, yeah, you don't get me. You think I'm your enemy because I'm telling you the truth. If I tell you that you need to repent and trust in Christ, you call me names. If I tell you that homosexuality is a sin, some of them, they just get upset. They just write me those nasty words. And I'm like, I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you the truth. It's the uncomfortable truth, but the truth sets you free though. And I'm not going to stop telling you the truth because you don't like it, because somebody else will hear the truth and be saved.
Say something, you fool! Say something!
And God is approved, therefore I don't care. So I really love what Ted Cruz did here. Very well done. It takes guts to do this. A level of guts at least. I appreciate that. Like and subscribe to the page. Click the bell icon for more of my notification upload. Comment below, share your thought and perspective with me. Thank you so much for listening today. Yeah, this was amazing. Every thumb matter. I appreciate you guys. Check out our merch. See what else we got going on in this channel. And be blessed. Until next time, and as always, remember to look unto Jesus and to live by faith. Have a good one. Bye.